Hi, I'm Sherry McGill, and you're watching Lessons Learned. Hello, welcome back to Finish It Friday. Blue and I are here to let you know what I have been finishing this week. I have a couple things to show you. Not a ton of stuff, but that's okay. There's something that I remember about myself that I have forgotten, and that's that I kind of have a short attention span, and having several projects going at one time is kind of what I need. And remember these project boxes I got? These big double scrapbook type? I got another shipment of those in. I got another 8 of them. And I've got 4 stacks of them under my table here. Between the cubbies that I have that the tabletop is sitting on. And I've got room for 5 more, which would be a total of 20. So I may just allow myself to have 20 projects going at the same time. Let's hope not. But I've got 15 boxes, and I have 5 of them empty. So I do have 10 projects going at the same time, technically. A lot of things, as you know, are quilts that I just need to quilt and bind. There's several of those, and I actually started this week getting serious about quilting the Save the Bees, and I'll show you that first. I've got it folded here to where you can just see what I've been working on. If you can see that, of course it's not finished, but that center section I'm doing that crosshatch thing that I do. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I'm doing it in black, and it's coming along pretty good. So pretty soon I'll have this whole quilt done. I think probably this coming week I'm going to really concentrate on this, and then some smaller projects, and get something done and bound to show you for next week, because it's been a while since I've had an entire quilt completed from start to finish on here, and I'm overdue. I did 2 more of the Harriet's Journey. I always want to say Melissa's Journey. Harriet's Journey. This one is Ohio Buckeye, I think. It called for the medium green. And then I did this one, which is Courtyard Quilters with the darker green. This one was a little bit challenging for me. You may have seen it on Instagram. Yeah. It was a little bit tough to get that one all to line up well. And this one was super easy. It didn't take very long at all. Yeah. So I got 2 done. I didn't get any done last week, so to get 2 done was good. And then I also got done my August Barn Block Mini. And I really like this one. And I actually put a lot more quilting on it than I normally do. I don't know if you can see that. So yeah, I quilted all those points, and then put some more quilting along the corners and the sides, and of course stitching the ditch around the center part quite a bit. So I really like that one. This is for August. And then my Nantucket Summer Fat Quarter Shop Sew Along, or Mystery Quilt Along. This is the block that I just got in the mail, and it's called Starfish. I mostly did that. It was Tuesday night when I was watching So Yeah, and then I came in Wednesday morning and finished it. All I had to do was pretty much just, assemble the 4 blocks together. So that's done. So I've got 2 blocks of that project done. That's going to go on for a year, by the way. They're only going to send me a block a month. So there's that. And then let me get my iPad real quick and I'll show you some of your all's projects. Good boy, Blue. He decided to sit down. Lay down, actually. It's a little bit warm here today. He was outside the she shed hanging out for a good while, and then I heard him scratching at the door like, I'm hot. Didn't ya? Okay, let's see what I have here. Get to the email. lessonslearnt2021@gmail.com. That's where you need to send your photos if you would like to share your projects with us. Donna sent me, I think she may have sent me these last week, or no, last weekend. Says she's got 2 projects. One is a dark background with some very bright stars on the edges of those dark squares. There's a certain way to cut that. You can kind of see from the picture she sent on her cutting board there. It's kind of a wonky set in type of corner on each corner of that black square. I think it's black. And once you put them together, you have these stars. Okay, she says 1 week remains until the first day of school. Below are some photos of my 2 works in progress quilts. The tops are complete. Both have been laid out with their respective backings and batting, so starting today, the actual quilting begins. So one is the dark one is the granddaughter's quilt that will be named either Midnight Stars or Midnight Sky. Aptly named. And then she's putting that real watery looking turquoise on the back. That's so pretty. And then the other one is my brother and sister-in-law's quilt, and she will be naming it Hope of Prairie Hill. And she kind of made a to come up with that name, she made a play on the 3 different names of the 3 different fabrics that were used in there. Kansas Troubles fabric called Hope Blooms, Prairie Dreams, and Harvest Hill. So Hope of Prairie Hill. Clever. And that's Kansas Troubles. If you like those sorts of maroons and burgundies and off-white, olive green. I like that. I particularly like the floral ones. Those are really pretty. Nice quilt, nicely done. And then her back is going to be this little flower that has all those colors in it with a light background, kind of a cream background. Good job, Donna. And then Dee Dee or Brenda, aka Brenda. I should say Brenda, aka Dee Dee. Okay, she says, I made this quilt from one of Fabric Cafe's 3-yard quilt books. The quilt is Time Machine. It was so easy to cut in piece. I used QS basting powder. She said that's great stuff. I'll have to try that. I've seen it where you shake it out on the batting. And quilted with DBJJ Edge 2 Edge Rose pattern. The only part I still struggle with is the binding. But look, your project looks really nice. I love the purples. Now, I'm not necessarily a purple person, but I love your combination that you put. You've got a light, a medium, and a dark. And she's got her quilt label on the back, too, there. Your binding looks fine. And your quilting looks good, too. I've been looking for someone to make me some embroidered, I don't have an embroidery machine, an embroidered set of labels. I saw that, who was it? Terribly Rad, if you all watch her. She's kind of a new channel. She puts out videos just ever so often, but she got a friend to do some very nicely embroidered quilt labels for her, and I thought I should do that. That looks really nice. Really nice. Thank you, Dee Dee. Beautiful. She said that was the second quilt she ever made. So, you got a great future ahead of you. Diane. Oh, I'm not going to show Diane's because it's the table runner. Have you all done your table runner for the table runner challenge? I need those pictures from you by next probably Wednesday or Thursday if you can. If you're short on time, we can show them a little bit later, but that's the day that we're going to have our slideshow of those. So I'm going to save that one. You're not going to get to see it. Ernest, here's his quilt. As usual, he whipped that together in about a week or so. And let's see what he says. He says this was a lesson in fabric choices. So he had a lesson learned. He said I needed 9 lights and 15 darks. I thought I had enough contrast with my bright fabrics. When I started putting blocks together, I realized I was going to lose the pattern. I still sewed all the blocks per the pattern and even attempted to lay them out per the pattern. But by row 2, I got lost. I gave up and just sewed them together as I grabbed them for the quilt top. Womp womp. The original pattern, those were his words by the way, womp womp. The original pattern is one block with 6 designs called Mysterious by Doug Lico. Go look that up because if you see his quilt and see that pattern, you'll know what we're talking about here. That he lost the pattern. If someone does this, pick more contrasting colors. He says, I'm renaming it Beautiful Disaster because that's what it is. I still like the quilt. The border is pieced. See that pieced border there, the squares? Also, my first time working with some woven fabrics. And in parentheses, he has the gauze of the quilting world and using starch. I do like starching the fabric. The quilt is roughly 55 by 70. It's beautiful. It just looks very crystally and twinkly to me because of all the colors that you used. Love the fabric choices. But there is a definite pattern in there. It's just hard to see with how the fabrics went together. So you ended up with a beautiful quilt, even though a more contrasting color would have shown the pattern better. So yeah, that was Doug Lico called Mysterious. So Google that and you'll see why this quilt turned out the way it did by not using a solid. But it's fantastic. You did a great job as usual. And you've got it all quilted and bound. And we're always very, very impressed with your work, Ernest. Thanks for sending it in. And then Giselle sent me one. She says, I call this quilt Bronze Beauty. My sister chose these colors and fabric for her room. And I must say I was skeptical of the outcome. I can't believe how well this turned out despite it being so much out of my comfort zone. It's a Fabric Cafe pattern from Easy Does It 3-yard quilts called Farmhouse Chic. I made it a bit bigger by adding extra borders. It measures 48 by 66. Yeah, everybody's taste is different. You know, a lot of people just like more muted colors. They don't like the bright colors or they don't like themed quilts. You know, they just kind of have this comfort zone with color. And that's fine. You know, each one to his own. And, you know, there's some beiges and taupes and cream and purple. And by the way, I think that's purple in those bigger squares. That pattern of purple is kind of dazzling. You know, even though it is a muted color, it does make you want to look at it, you know. So you did a great job on that as well with your cornerstones on the corners, and the pattern and how you made it bigger turned out great. So thanks, Giselle. And that's all I have for this week, but we appreciate these photos. Everyone enjoys them very much, so feel free to send your finished or near finished projects in. I would call a finished quilt top a finished project, even though technically it's not a finished quilt. But, you know, you have those different parts of a project that you can say, okay, I'm finished with the cutting, I'm finished with the quilt top, I'm finished with the borders, or whatever. You know, there's different meanings to finishing a project, but a lot of these were completely finished, and that's great work, everyone. And I need to take a lesson from you guys and get my stuff done. Alright, so Blue has already decided to just take a nap here on the cutting table, so I guess we will see you on the Monday Quilt Chat. So have a great weekend, sew a little something, make some time for sewing because it's good for you. Alright, we'll see you later. Bye!